Welcome to repairing a Stuart Twin Victoria model steam engine. This is part 2 and it's making a start. I've already repaired one of these in the past, but that was a major ground up rebuild. This is more of a repair. As you can see, the valve linkages are very sloppy and it's impossible to time the engine properly because everything moves about. And the crosshead is a disaster. Look at the play in the small end. This is mainly due to the fact that the piston is hitting the rear cylinder cover. This is my usual green plastic box that takes all the parts, and off we go. The first thing to do is to remove the crosshead guides. So I'm removing the crosshead guides, nothing really technical about that. Generally I would use my Barco adjustable spanner to loosen the nuts, or sometimes a small BA spanner, and then finish it off with a thing like this, or sometimes with a socket from a socket set. Most of these videos that I produce and post on YouTube are aimed at beginners, complete beginners or people who are just starting out. It's quite a long time since I was a beginner at this type of a job, and I do remember finding it very difficult to get sensible information from people. That's why I put these videos on YouTube, to try and help people who are wanting to build and repair steam engines. What I find really strange though, is the fact that some beginners are definitely odd. I got a message the other week and the guy just was criticising the fact that, at 2:25 in the video there's a steam leak on one of the cylinders. So I had a quick look at his channel and there were Mamods and Willesco engines and he knew nothing about the subject. And all he was talking about was a slight weep around one of the cylinder covers. This man was clearly an idiot. And I don't let these comments through to the page, so if you're thinking of sending silly comments like that, send them to somewhere else, or better still, make your own video. It doesn't annoy me in any way, I just find it a bit tragic that people are keyboard warriors and trolls as soon as they get on a computer and watch a video about a steam engine. Now that is really weird. Anyway, back to the build. Sorry, I mean the repair, I must try harder. And you can see now that I've fully removed the crosshead guides, and you can also see the full extent of the amount of play in the small end. It's quite excessive. And this is my hammer, which I'm showing for no specific reason, except to tell you must not use hammers on model steam engines. Instead, be very patient. Sometimes it can be immensely frustrating, and things go wrong and the engine won't run, you can't get the timing right, things work loose, things break, but never reach for the hammer. Just stop what you're doing and think about it. Go for a walk, have a cup of tea, do anything you like to get your mind away from what you've just done. Then come back with a fresh approach and put it in the bin. What I'm doing at the moment is removing all these nuts from the steam chest cover. That way I can remove the steam chest cover and the inlet pipe, which will allow me to run the engine on one side only. That's the other side, of course. Also, I need to do this in order to remove the cylinder. Here I'm removing the union nut that secures this pipe to the T-piece in the centre, and now I can completely remove the steam chest cover along with the pipe. And I must say that when I looked underneath the steam chest cover and saw the state of the gasket, I wasn't surprised. I get the feeling this has been on and off quite a few times. If you've been following my videos on YouTube, you may notice that I do quite a lot of this sort of thing. It's the only excitement I get these days in my life. What I do find is a lot of these engines that I work on are very well made in the first place. Sometimes they're made by more than one person, and the person who made this was a very good model engineer. It's very well machined. It just went a little bit wrong during the fitting, and if you take a close look at these components, you will see they're very well made indeed. It's time now to fully unscrew the piston rod. It's already partially unscrewed, somebody's already been and done that. Probably in a vain attempt to stop the piston from hitting the back cover, because the piston rod is either too short or something else is not right. And they've also marked it by using a pair of pliers. I'm using a small piece of brass boiler banding which acts as a cushion and stops the pliers marking the piston rod. I'm using a very small pair of pliers just for the video. In reality, I used a bigger pair like this. Once again, the secret is be firm, but do not put too much weight on the tool, otherwise things will break. Once the piston rod is fully unscrewed, I'm left with the crosshead attached to the connecting rod. And for what it's worth, the twin crossheads both have a number on them, which tells me where they go. How nice. The good thing about it is that the crossheads and the pin are quite good. They're a perfect bearing fit in both the crosshead and the central block. What is not good is the main connecting rod. That is a rattle fit. So what I'm going to do is drill that out, ream the crosshole to be accurate, make some bushes, and then reassemble everything. This will be revealed shortly, but for the moment I'm just replacing the nuts over these bobbins on the crosshead supports so they don't get lost. I mentioned earlier about people writing in and saying strange things, and one thing springs to mind. A chap wrote in and just cautioned me that the crosshead supports are not exactly in the middle of the cast iron square on the bed. Oh dear. By doing the job and then spending approximately 2 hours an episode after I've filmed it, looking at all these pictures, that is after I've edited all the pictures together, and speaking over them, I don't use a script, I just busk it. So often I get it wrong, but then I retake it until I get it somewhere near right. It's good fun really, and I enjoy doing it, and will carry on doing it despite these lunatics that keep writing in. So that's episode 2 out of the way. There are plenty more to come. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.